Google Ads is Google's advertising platform through which you can display different types of ads you have, such as text, banner, video, in-app installation, etc., to your target audience at the right time. I'd say, I want us to go and see what things we can do with it. This dashboard actually helps you spend money in it, and Google earns revenue. Of course, the important thing is that you can achieve results from it. Let's move on to get familiar with how Google is actually displaying its ads. Google has two advertising networks. Let me open this up for you here. Guys, the things we display, we call them assets. For example, your asset could be your text ad, your banner, your video, etc. Well, these assets you have need to be displayed somewhere. The space that Google provides you, the advertising space that Google offers, happens within two networks or two Google networks. The two main Google networks are the Google Search Network and the Google Display Network, abbreviated as GSN and GDN. The Google Search Network is a network that is based on the search engine, meaning you need to perform a search and it shows you a series of results. Among those results is your text ID, which can display various types of advertisements there. Naturally, for example, your app installation can also be shown in mobile search, but I want to emphasize that it is fundamentally based on Google's search engine, and on that side, GDN or its display network, which is based on various applications and websites where you might see your program's advertisements, you might see your video advertisements and so on, which also includes embedded YouTube. So there are two main platforms. One is actually the search engine, and on the other side there are various applications and websites where your advertisements, or whether they are banner ads, video ads, or others, are displayed. Many times you've seen it when you visit Radio Javan, for example, or when you go to a news site. Let me open a parenthesis here about Iranian websites and the banner spaces they have. This is happening through internal networks, and it differs from Google Ads. You might see Google Ads both in internal applications and websites if they have provided that space to Google. However, in general, I want to clarify this a bit. We are leaning more towards internal networks. But in general, you can show your ads to the audience in various applications and websites. How and so on, I don't deal with that. So there are two main networks, two main spaces for actually displaying your ads there and targeting your audience in those spaces. The question of which is better or which type of campaign is better, etc., is a different matter that we'll address later. We'll examine it. I want us to go and see, first I got to know the two main networks. Now I want to move on to see what types of general campaigns are actually relevant here. One of the campaign types is search ads, which are essentially text ads. Well, this is what you are seeing in written form on the screen. And next to it, you actually see the ad or advertisement, or depending on your device, you see the translated word for ad or advertisement. The point I'm making here is that it should gradually settle in your mind that Google Ads are not meant to be displayed constantly. I have a request for you. At the end of the course, we are taking together. I emphasize that you write it down somewhere, and I have a request from you. In a very neat and tidy notebook or manual, kids, the training is not just what I'm saying. Your training notebook with what you are taking notes on, in my opinion, is a sacred notebook. Please don't write it on a series of loose A4 sheets, I ask you. A neat and beautiful notebook with several different colors, red, blue, green, I don't know, purple, magenta, whatever you have, keep it beside you so that the notes you want to take are neat and tidy. This way, moving forward, and although these concepts might seem simple to you, if you don't take proper notes, even if you know them, please write them down. Otherwise, you'll encounter problems later on, and I want these to be, definitely keep it by your side while you are working. Read from it and implement it, so write down all the points we discussed together in this course with full details and specifics. It's as if someone who doesn't watch this video can find my complete talk in your notes. I ask you to do this because it will definitely 100% help you in your work. I'm telling you for sure. So these are text ads, mobile, and site links that you see in search results. Guys, search ads appear in your search results. There's also a note in parentheses that I'll address later. It might also be seen as a banner, but I'm not concerned with those. Highlight these two networks I mentioned for yourself. This is the type of campaign I'm telling you about. Let's note this down, guys. We'll discuss the campaign type later, but you should know that it's a type of advertisement, a model of advertisement. It's important to align it with the type or format of the ad you have, so you can differentiate it. In your campaign, you define goals and so on. So one type is search ads, which are these text or those text ads. Another type of campaign that you can actually launch on Google is display advertising. This again varies with the network we mentioned, the GDN, Google Display Network. Here, words play a crucial role. What is display advertising? Why same? Guys, these are the banners you see in the images. This banner is exactly what it is. You see, guys, next to it is the advertisement. At the top right, there are two icons. These are advertisements for Google. Now you might see them specifically for mobile, and you might see it on websites, which is a sign that can stick in your mind that this is for Google. When you set it up, Google might ask, oh, do you want it to be shown to you again or not? And then there's another type of campaign, which is Universal App Campaigns, or UAC. Guys, the abbreviation is UAC, okay? The goal of this hardcore type of campaign is actually app installation. Each type of campaign is for a specific purpose. I always give an example here. They say, you can't say which is better here, it depends on what purpose you're using it for. Naturally, in your home you have spoons, you have forks. Now in my home, I don't have a fork right now. You have spoons, you have forks. For example, you have bowls, you have plates. Do you have a knife? Guys, the use of each of these in its place is important. Naturally, you don't eat soup with a fork. I'm not saying you can't eat it. You can definitely eat soup with a fork, but you'll grow old. Trying to finish a bowl of soup with it. Well, that tool is for a specific purpose, and we need to apply this to ourselves. For example, if I want to install an application with UAC, then which tool should I use if I want soup? Naturally, only in a plate. Oh, right. I wouldn't have come to the field with a plate. I would have come to use a special soup spoon. I wouldn't put a knife there. The purpose is not to cut something in the middle. Well, the tools of that type of campaign, whatever you want to use, are chosen based on your goal. Similarly, search, similarly display advertising, the things we just talked about. Continuing with the discussion, I say to everyone, for example, I tell the guys that search is not for awareness. It's not for the top of your funnel. So, UAC or Universal App Campaigns aim to get app installations. Let me tell you a point. Many say, well, we have a model where, for example, we can't place our application on the App Store. Guys, this type of campaign, after you see the call to action button on the installation page, for example, you see it on its banner or on the website, or it's visible on Google Play or the App Store. When the user clicks, they go directly to install the application, meaning they go directly to the link you have on the App Store or Google Play, not to your website. Keep this distinction in mind as it's important. Let's move on to the next type of campaign, video campaigns, which have different models. When you're watching YouTube or platforms like Apparat, Dalfak, Namasha, Tamasha, etc., this is not the type of campaign. The platform is YouTube or an embedded YouTube video on your websites, which we'll talk about later. These are video campaigns, video advertising. You've seen at the beginning of your videos, there's something called a pre-roll, which shows a preview of a video in YouTube videos. Sometimes it shows. Keep in mind that this sometimes is not always consistent. Sometimes the ad is skipped, sometimes it's seen. This is video advertising. It might also appear in the middle of videos. If you watch some Iranian videos, you might see ads in the middle as well. This video ta, which is infinite, is for what purpose, guys? This is so you can create awareness. We have a model where there are campaigns called shopping ads. The purpose of the campaign is sales, meaning it couldn't be more obvious. It's even called shopping advertising. So a sale is supposed to happen here. Where is it seen, etc.? It's seen both on the GSN network and on the network. Display or GDN or Google Display Network. Sometimes you might have seen it when your VPN is on during your search. At the top of your search page, you might have noticed that it says sponsored above it. This is Google's shopping ad, and its goal is sales, which is rated. In fact, you can directly see the price and everything here, which can either be sold directly through Google or redirect to your website's product page to complete the sale. Unfortunately, this doesn't currently work in Iran for you. Hopefully, by the time you watch this video, it will be functional. But I want to tell you that you can't implement this in Iran right now. What about the others? Yes, you can implement them. The types of Google campaigns, are different. For example, Gmail ads are now under the discovery campaign type, which you can choose. Gmail advertising, I want you to become familiar with it. You've seen in the promotion section of your Gmail that you see some ads, or for example, when you view it separately, it's there. You also see it in your inbox, but in the separate promotion section. It might be visible with the ad or advertising sign, depending on the browser you're using. The language of this browser might show the ad in different languages. These are all different types of campaigns. The point I want to tell you is, for example, discovery campaigns, or in fact, Performance Max and other things are also included, which I don't want to discuss in detail right now. Just know the general idea that these change places sometimes, and their spaces can be different, and it might not be precise for you here. A very important point. Let me flash back to something I just told you. Kids, you choose the type of campaign based on your goal. Should I take a spoon or a fork, or should we use any dish, whether it's a bowl or a plate, or now I need a steak. I want to eat it and I definitely need to have a knife to cut it and a fork. You don't eat steak with a spoon. Well, for example, if it's French fries, you definitely use a fork for that. Kids, it's your goal that determines which type of campaign you choose in order to get the right result from it. In the next video, we'll go over misconceptions so you can become familiar with what's being said in the market, or if you're reading an article, you'll know whether it's wrong or right. Kids, even if everyone in the world talks about something incorrect, I learned this from the book, The Art of Thinking Clearly, by Adel Faridousi-Pour. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, it came out as a podcast and then was turned into a book. And I highly recommend reading it. It's a really great book. And it says that even if everyone in the world talks about something incorrect, it's still wrong. An example to make it stick in your mind is that everyone in the world used to say the earth was flat. But Galileo, or Gulliver, I can't remember, came and said, "Sir, the earth is round," while everyone else in the world was saying the opposite. Kids, what is correct is clearly correct, and you need to acknowledge its correctness. And what is wrong, even if everyone says otherwise, it doesn't make it right. You need to firmly establish the difference between right and wrong in your mind. Let's move on to the next video.